games begin?
Alright, here we go. Another edition of the Sports Guys in Ties. Take 3 this time. A prosandcon.com production. I'm Jason Kahn, along with Matt Galka.
That's me.
Always at this time. We are here to bring you one of the most entertaining, most insightful shows on the internet right now.
At least in our opinion.
So how you doing? How you been doing lately, Matt?
I'm good. Lots going on. Lots to talk about. I love it.
And before we get to our headliner, let's take a look at what's going to happen in our show today. The Olympics are underway. If you could be an Olympian, which sport would you choose? Plus,
Sam taking it in for the Mizzou touchdown!
Michael Sam becomes the first openly gay football player. Will this set off a trend for other football players across the country? And what happens when you're locked in a bathroom? Well, you may want to talk to Olympic bobsledder Johnny Quinn. All right, always at this time, we go with the headliner. And our topic is Michael Sam becoming the first openly gay football player in the United States, in the world, and he has yet to join the NFL.
I am a gay man, and I'm happy to be one.
How does that feel to say those words to the world?
It's a load off my chest. I told my teammates this past August that I came out to my teammates, and they took it great.
Matt, I personally think this is a good move by Michael Sam to come out before the NFL draft. Do you?
I mean, absolutely. I think, first of all, I think he deserves a lot of praise. I mean, it took a lot of courage to do that. Obviously, no one's done it before. And if you're delusional to think he's the first ever gay player to play, it's just almost statistically impossible. So it takes a lot of courage to do this. Good for him. And before the NFL draft, here's why I'm torn inside, because I think it was good for him to do it. I don't think anybody should hide from who they are. But I think you're crazy if you think this automatically takes him off some – if you don't think this automatically takes him off some teams' draft boards. And it's a harsh reality, and I don't think it's fair, but I really do think that could be the case because he's breaking down barriers here. And I don't care if it's a black thing, a white thing, whatever. An old white GM could just say he doesn't agree with it. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want to do it. I don't care if it's a black athlete in the locker room who's homophobic. It doesn't matter. It's not a race thing. It's a matter of, yes, I do think this affects his draft stock, but I don't think, I'm glad he did it anyway because it was the right thing to do.
But think of the consequences of what would happen if he did it afterward. Don't you think that there would be a different locker room atmosphere because he waited until players were able to find out about his sexual orientation? Do you think it would be a different vibe if he came out after the draft and players would have different thoughts about him rather than at least letting it set in for a little bit and having players understand his situation? And the fact that a Missouri locker room, you have to give a lot of credit to the Missouri Tigers for having that kind of atmosphere around him to accept him the way they did all throughout the season. Remember, he came out before the Missouri Tigers season opened in August, and I think they were more accepting because of it. If he had come out in the middle of the season, I feel like some players would have felt like their privacy, or I guess because of that locker room vibe, and you would know that because you were a Syracuse football player, so I'll pose that question to you in a second, but halfway through the season, I feel like when you have a guy all of a sudden giving away a secret, a very personal secret, especially the one that he has shown to the world, has displayed to the world, I think that these players would have felt, I don't feel like they would have felt as accepting, to be honest with you. Now, Matt, when you were a football player at Syracuse, do you feel that at any time during the season it would have been appropriate for someone to come out? Would you feel like it would have violated, that locker room code?
I understand what you're saying because, look, anything can be a distraction these days. No coach wants the distraction, no team wants the distraction. And unfortunately, what the distraction usually is, it's not really in the locker room. It's not like you'll be in the locker room and all of a sudden, you forgot what you're doing because there's some distraction. It's really us. It's really the media that causes the distraction. So if he were to do this afterward, let's say he gets drafted and he were to do this during the season, yes, that'd be a distraction because there'd be reporters and calls and all this and all that going on during the season. I agree with you. It was a good move to come out beforehand, but I honestly, in this day and age, I would like to think that people will be accepting regardless, But it's kind of a situation where I think he's darned if he did, he's darned if he didn't, because there are always going to be some people who don't agree with it, and no matter when it came out. And that's an unfortunate reality. But I agree with you. It was a better move to give people time to, I guess, prepare. They prepare for this guy to be in the locker room. Not like anything at all is going to change, but give people time to prepare.
It's really hard to believe that we have to use the word prepare for a situation like this. And you make a great point, Matt.
I thought about what this announcement will mean to players right now in grade school or high school or college who have been afraid to make the kind of statement that you're making today.
They shouldn't be afraid. They shouldn't be afraid of who they are. And I wasn't afraid of who I was. I wasn't afraid to be around my teammates.
He was the co-SEC Defensive Player of the Year, and that is the most important thing when it comes to the NFL Draft. And he had 11.5 sacks throughout his final season at Missouri. I would like to know, though, if this sets a trend, and I think it will, a ripple effect of sorts throughout the rest of the football universe. After he came out, I think a lot of players are going to become more comfortable within themselves, or maybe not.
But I would hope so, because I honestly, it's 2014. It doesn't really matter what year it is, but it's 2014. I mean, gay culture, it's not like it was when our parents were growing up, or even when we were growing up 20 years ago. It's in the media. It's out there. It is a part of society, whether people like it or not, and it's not going to all of a sudden stop. It's not going to change. So I hope it does. I hope other people who might have been afraid can no longer be afraid, because football has, and look, I was going to say football has this masculinity thing about it where you have to be a man and everything.
I think there is, though.
Of course there is. Michael Sam being gay does not change the fact that I still don't want to get tackled by him. I still don't want to get sacked by him, because
Right.
It doesn't make the hit less hurtful. And because he's gay, it doesn't matter. He's still a good player. He's still good enough to play and be one of the best players in the SEC. And I really do hope it does set a trend where people can be more comfortable and say, hey, I don't care if you like guys. I don't care if you like girls. If you could play, you could play. And if you could play, we could win.
Let's make it clear. He's a football player, and that's what matters when it comes to the NFL Draft, despite the fact that there will be GMs out there who will look at him differently. Also a topic of conversation, Matt. The Olympics.
Oh, one of the best.
Have you been watching?
I've seen a couple of them. It's actually it's tough when it's in Russia because it's not live.
What kind of watcher are you? Do you watch a little bit? Do you watch all the Olympics? It doesn't matter what sport.
No, I watch a little bit, but I watch a little bit of whatever's on. I don't care if it is.
Doesn't matter what sport.
Curling. I mean, I watched a little bit of curling today. Norway's got some crazy pants.
Always a fan favorite.
Yeah, I mean, curling's fun. I don't know why it's so fun. I guess it's because guy sitting on his couch thinks I could do that. That'd be cool. But I watch a little bit whenever it's on, and like I said, because it's in Russia, it's tough to catch it live. But you kind of watch the replays, and now with the internet, you just find out what happens anyway. But I watch a little bit, and I think it's every couple of years you get Winter and Summer Olympics. I think it's awesome.
I would put myself in that category too. I do have a problem with the non-watcher. This is your country. This is your team. Even if you're not a sports watcher, this is Team USA. You should be watching no matter what. Your country is battling for a gold medal. This is one of the most prized possessions in all of sports.
And I don't want to get all whimsical on you, but I mean, it's really the Olympics are supposed to represent the best of man and women's achievements on Earth. Where our best athletes at this game are taking on the world's best athlete at this game. And even if you come in third, even if you get the bronze, you're still the third best person in the world at that sport. So it's pretty cool. And I agree. The non-watcher, the Olympics, whatever. I mean, yeah, the Team USA, they train their whole lives for this, to try and do this for us, not for them, for us, for USA. So I agree. Should watch at least a little of it.
Really quick, would you prefer the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics?
I like the summer. I do like the summer. I think, everybody gets behind swimming and gymnastics. Those are I feel like those are our anchors during the summer. And I like watching those.
I know a lot of people aren't fans of the cold weather, but I do like the Winter Olympics. I watch both. I'm more of a Winter Olympics fan. I just feel like there's a little more action there with the curling, with the snowboarding.
Yeah.
the skiing.
Hockey.
The key elements for a successful sled team are a steady driver and 3 strong runners to push off down the ice. Ice! Ice! And it's kind of a winter sport, you know.
I love it all. Now, if you could be an Olympian, which sport would you choose, Matt?
Winter or summer? Should we just stick to winter?
Let's stick to winter because we're in winter right now.
It's gonna throw you for a loop, but I would say the biathlon. Do you know what the biathlon is? You ski, you cross country ski, and then you shoot something. And I'll tell you why. And I'm thinking outside the box because I think the biathlon is a skill you could actually use in real life if you were ever like stranded in Serbia.
What is this, hatchet?
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, no, but it's you're cross country skiing, which is kicking your butt anyway, and then you got to steady yourself and aim at targets. I mean, I think in some sort of weird post-apocalyptic scenario, you'd be better off if you were a good biathloner.
Me personally, I would go with the luge.
The luge.
I like
scary.
It's scary, but it's exciting at the same time.
Yeah.
You have the ability to control your own destiny.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
You have the ability to control your own destiny. You're going down that slope at what? Like at least 50, 60, 70 miles per hour,
Probably
if
more.
not faster.
Yeah.
Right? And you're on your own.
You're by yourself.
Right. And you have to glide yourself throughout this entire course. It's a step up from sledding down a hill.
Yeah,
a little bit.
A slight step up, yeah.
Right, so I love the excitement of that. So I would go with either luge or I would go with the bobsled. If I had to do a team sport, I would do with the bobsled.
We'll try to get you on the luge team next time.
Right. Maybe a little bit of cool runnings.
Yeah.
Who is the best push cart driver in all of Jamaica? You're looking at him. Then you gotta do it. No!
Not sure if you also saw the athlete mugshots on the website, but I don't know who was taking the pictures, or I don't know if these athletes just woke up. They look like mugshots.
In my head, I'd like to think that just is Russia. That is everyone's idea of Russia.
Right, that's how they wake up.
Right.
Well, someone who may need to wake up. Brian Cashman. Say what?
Say what again? Say what?
So
again?
earlier
Again.
last week, since we are, Monday night, Tuesday by now?
Yeah.
He said this about Masahiro Tanaka. Their new acquisition, who they paid $155 million for.
Good amount.
We view him as a solid, consistent number 3. If we get more than that, the better.
We view him as a solid, has a potential to be a really solid, consistent number 3 starter. If we get more than that, all the better.
Does that rub you the wrong way?
A little bit. I mean, how many teams would love to spend... Think about number 3s on other teams. What do they make? What, $3 million a year maybe? $2 million?
Some teams, yeah.
$3, $4, $5 million a year? Mm-hmm. And you're looking a solid number 3. You're hoping, 13 to 15 wins with an ERA right around 3. I mean, you don't pay a guy $153 million to hope for that.
No.
And look, is this a ploy by Cashman? He doesn't want to put the pressure on. That's fine with me. And I think he's smart enough to do that. But to say that we're looking for a number 3, and in almost the same breath, he said CC Sabathia was not elite.
I was going to bring that up. How can you say your ace, CC Sabathia, is not elite, but call the guy you just acquired who seems elite not your number 1?
And look, again, if this is Cashman trying to light a fire, I mean, it lit a fire under me. Hopefully it lit a fire under the team, but I get that. But I don't know what he's expecting out of his pitching staff. I mean... He wants Tanaka behind what? Sabathia, who's not elite, and Kuroda, who's a number 2, who's pitched really well. I mean, his ERA is phenomenal since he's been with the Yankees. But I would hope that 25-year-old Tanaka is the ace in waiting, Brian Cashman. I really hope that's the plan. Or what else are you going to do? We don't have anybody else. Maybe Pineda gets his shoulder reattached and we can throw him out there and he could be an ace. I don't know. But Cashman, I mean, I temper the expectations, but give him a little confidence here. That's not a vote of confidence for your pitching staff.
I don't like talking about other people's jobs and firings and whatnot, but do you think Brian Cashman's job is on the line right now?
No, I don't. I really don't.
Do you think he should be out?
No, I don't think that either. I mean, he's constructed some of the best Yankee teams ever, and
In the past.
And they went through this already. In 2008, they missed the playoffs. 2009, they come back.
The World Series.
They win the World Series, and they've spent a lot of money this offseason. Do I think it can equate to a World Series? Honestly, I don't. I really don't. But I think they're good enough to get back in the playoffs. And if you get in the playoffs, anything can happen. And who knows? You get a guy like Nova. Maybe Pineda comes back. All of a sudden, you have Sabathia, Kuroda, Tanaka pans out, Nova, and Pineda in the back end. That could really shape up to be something. I don't think his job's on the line. I just think
The Yankees are old.
They are old. They are old, and they're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
So I think he's at least bought him, and no pun intended, literally, but he's bought himself another year at least.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I feel like they're the NBA's version of the Los Angeles Lakers right now with some of their problems. And Jeter coming back.
If he comes back,
the essential equivalent of Kobe Bryant.
Right. I understand.
So we'll see what happens with Brian Cashman, the New York Yankees, and they have gone through this before.
But that's why they play the games.
That's why they play the games. And that's why Marcus Smart was in the game.
Yeah.
But not the reason why he shoved the fan. And that's why he's in our We Love Haters segment.
Well, I mean,
in this case, the haters deserve to hate him.
Absolutely. What are you kidding me? Yeah, absolutely. He deserves to be hated on. Look, okay. I can't quite wrap my head around this one because I think that there's a lot of layers to this story. Something was said to him. And
something set him off.
And the fan said that he called him a piece of crap. Now, unless you're in 5th grade, that phrase has probably not affected you since you turned double digits in age. Honestly, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt anybody, okay? So if the fan isn't telling the truth, I understand that. If it was racially motivated, which there's a lot of different sides, and we're probably never going to know the truth. If he said something racial, I understand Marcus Smart losing his top. But that's not the first time it's ever happened to anybody. And they haven't gone into the stands and attacked anybody. So I think this falls squarely on Marcus Smart's shoulders. You got to be better than that. I don't care what they say to you in the stands, short of your home address and that they're coming after you. You don't go into the stands. So I think he's a clown.
The right thing to do would be to tell the ref that fan is causing trouble and escort him out of the arena. And then problem taken care of. But that wasn't his first incident. It was something that had kind of rippled all throughout the week. He kicked a chair, showed his frustration.
Yep.
I think it just was pent-up frustration all throughout the week, and that was the end of it.
And Marcus, maybe
he's a good player.
Maybe the fan flopped.
Maybe that's what got him frustrated. He talked about flopping earlier this week, and he admitted that he is a flopper as well as the rest of college basketball there and NBA players.
Well, of course.
It happens.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he got a little ticked off. He saw the fan flopped, or maybe the fan called him a flopper, and that was the end of it. Yeah. Okay, one guy that probably isn't a flopper is Damian Lillard. He's our icon of the week.
No joke.
Because he is participating in every challenge available at NBA All-Star Weekend.
Yeah.
He's going to be participating in the three-point contest, the dunk contest, the skills challenge, the Rising Stars game, and the All-Star game. How impressed are you with Damian Lillard?
I think it's a good move for a lot of reasons because I think Damian Lillard is talented enough to play in all these games, but I think your average NBA fan probably couldn't tell you who Damian Lillard is. And if you don't know who Damian Lillard is, he averages about 20 a game. He's one of the reasons that Portland has the 3rd best record in the NBA. He's 40% from the 3. He's 3rd in the league in three-pointers made. I mean, he's a great player. I mean, Rip City is rolling partly because of him. Or mostly, I'd say, because of him and Aldridge. So I think it's a good move for his own personal brand. Get your name out there. Get the fans to understand who you are, what type of player you are. And then, all of a sudden when people start talking about the best players, it depends on what he does for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
It depends on what he does for the rest of the season. But, I mean, all of a sudden, he could be in that conversation. So I think it's a good move for his brand.
One of the reasons why people don't know who he is because he came from Weber State. And Weber State's not a big program.
No.
So when he first entered the league, he wasn't a big name, and I think he's just kind of, right now he's mixed in with a lot of great players on Portland's rostered notably LaMarcus Aldridge.
Right.
So good for Damian Lillard for being a part of this contest. I'd love to see LeBron James one of these years. Doesn't matter what contest, just enter a contest. The dunk contest, most notably, would love to see LeBron James there too.
He'll never do it.
Never.
And
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the NBA.
Right. And it's not like it's the home run derby where he's going to mess up his swing. He's going to do a couple dunks and he's going to bring the house down. What's so wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. But there is somebody who did bring a part of the house down. That's why we get into Are You Serious?
Why so
Team
serious?
USA bobsledder Johnny Quinn
Can't catch a break.
was locked in a bathroom in Sochi, Russia, and he broke through using his bobsled training. Did you see the hole that he made through that bathroom door?
There's a lot to love about that photo. Okay, first of all, it looks like something escaped. It looked like obviously he had to get out of the room, and something escaped. It looked like it was a bad scenario. But first, did you see what the door was made out of?
Yeah,
it looked like the door was made out of cardboard.
It really did.
It looked like the door wasn't keeping anybody out or in. And that wouldn't make me feel safe as a guy staying in the room.
You know what I personally think? You ever watch Little Giants?
Sure.
It's all about intimidation.
Oh, my God.
All about intimidation. You tweet the picture out, other athletes see it, and they're scared.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure the rest
They're scared of the bobsledding team.
Yeah.
Team USA.
On a side note.
He also got locked in an elevator.
Got locked in an elevator today.
That's why you brought up this guy can't catch a break.
He can't catch a break. And you know what? Maybe he'll have the last laugh. He bites onto a gold medal at the end of the podium, and you know what? Broken door, whatever. I got the gold.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Also, somebody in this segment, Marshawn Lynch. Step right up.
My boy.
He's your boy, and everybody else is out there.
My man.
Listen, he doesn't speak at all during the media day at the Super Bowl.
Hates the media.
Maybe it was because he was also reaching for the liquor bottle.
Oh, my gosh. Look.
And he didn't want to speak and slur his words.
He's on the front of a duck boat, okay, during the parade. And if you've ever been to one of these parades, one of these celebrations?
I haven't.
Okay. Look, the fans get a little toasty, okay? They get a little loosey goosey for these. You know, they're probably
okay.
They're playing hooky from work. But Marshawn's on the front of the duck boat, and a fan's handing him a bottle of Fireball whiskey, and he's trying to get it. And from what I understand, he got it too, and he took a couple swigs. He likes to have a good time. He just won the Super Bowl. Okay?
End of the year party.
Yeah,
it's fine.
You ever go
no harm, no foul.
You go to an office party, you have a couple drinks. You know, stuff happens. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like it was in the middle of practice. You know?
He's not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
As long as he doesn't do anything afterwards.
Yeah, get him a ride home. It'll be fine.
Right. And I'm sure that they have plenty of money to get him a ride home.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. All right. Aim. Ready, aim, rapid fire. How about that? Yeah, right. I got it mixed up for a second.
It's okay.
First, let's start with LeBron versus Blake Griffin, or maybe the LeBron for Blake Griffin. Now, first in that game, let's talk about the game in general. LeBron had 31 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. Griffin had 43 points, 13 rebounds. Would that be an even trade, Matt?
Okay, look, that was a phenomenal game to watch. It was basically like watching a dunk contest. It was awesome. You're never going to get equal value. The rumor is that maybe in the offseason the Clips could deal Blake Griffin for LeBron. You're never going to get equal value for LeBron, but Blake is a good player. I don't care if people say he can't shoot. He's gotten better, and he's a good rebounder. I think that's a good enough trade where LeBron would be with Chris Paul. He'd be happy. I don't know. You'd have to think about it.
I think it's a good trade for the Clippers. Don't think it's a good trade for the Heat. LeBron makes teams better. All right, next up, A-Rod dropped a lawsuit against Major League Baseball, the MLBPA, and Commissioner Bud Selig. Good move?
Yeah, you know what? Just go away for a season. If you think when he comes back, he's going to be 40, okay? Is he going to be able to play? I doubt it, but just go away and let things blow over. You know, people will forget. As long as you shut up, people will forget. We're stupid.
Yeah, I mean, A-Rod does not want to go down with the Pete Roses in the world of being men, so that's one of the reasons why he dropped it. I thought it was a good move, too. Terrell Owens' wife wants a divorce after 2 weeks of marriage because she thinks he's after his money. Is there anything to say about this?
Well, look, he needs the money, as far as I know.
This is one of the most sad this is one of the most sad situations I've seen in the NFL. I mean, we all know about the story, the player who makes a lot of money then becomes bankrupt after, and this is another one of those cases right now.
Yeah, and it is sad. I mean, I laughed because in 2 weeks, see you later. I guess it wasn't true love like they thought it was. I mean, just got to handle your money better.
Will you watch the NBA All-Star Game?
Absolutely. And you know what? I don't care if it's 150 to 148. I like that. I like offense. I like score. They don't play defense. It's not about defense. Who can make the most shots? Hopefully it's 200 to 198 this year.
All right, 2 minutes are up, but I will watch the NBA All-Star Game. Really quick note before we leave. North Carolina versus Duke this week, Matt. Let's go Tar Heels. Tell me you're picking North Carolina, Matt.
Yeah, I picked UNC, dude. Good luck.
What's up with that? Come on, Carolina. Come on. Let's go Heels. I know they have it in them. Right now, they're 6-4 in the ACC. They can do it. This would be a huge win for the Carolina Tar Heels.
Yeah.
It would push Duke back down to about 4th or 5th place in the ACC, about tied with Carolina, about a half game. I believe Carolina would be about a half game back.
And everybody's looking up at number 1.
Syracuse.
That's right.
Yeah, Syracuse has another big game this week with Pittsburgh, which I know you're sweating out a little bit right now.
Big East, old Big East stuff. That'd be great.
All right, everybody. Again, you can watch this starting on Mondays at 6 a.m. except this week, just like last week. Yeah, 6 a.m.-ish right now. We will post it on the website, prosandcon.com. This is a prosandcon.com production. Also, check out our YouTube channel for any archive shows. But before I say goodbye, I'd like to say see you next week. One last thing. Keep it real.
Peace.